No padding, no anything. I was actually really shocked. I then contacted her about it, and I probably could have pressed it, but I'm the type of person that I just dealt with it because I did get the pin. I figured I could fix it, which is why I didn't make a big deal at the time. So the bubble had popped open and the piece of history had popped open, and I said, "Oh, I'll just try to glue this down." So I took some super glue and I put the super glue around the edge of the bubble, and then put the piece of history in, and then tried to seal it down. Well, apparently there was some sort of chemical reaction with the fumes of the glue and the dome plastic, and it just completely opaqued out the bubble, so now you can't see in there at all. I promise you the piece of history is in there, you just can't see it. So that fix went horribly, horribly, horribly awry. It's still a pretty pin. I'm going to keep it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I know I wanted to frame this set, and I wanted the set to look really nice, so I did purchase a replacement, and here is the replacement with the bubble intact. And all of it intact. And again, this is some Brer Bear, Brer Fox shenanigans. These are beautiful pins. They're all pin on pin on pin design. There's 3 layers of pins with the bubble, and this one has jeweled, most of them have jeweled elements on them. What is the LE on these? These are 2500. So they were pretty big sets. When they were being released, the pins were available for quite some time. There was really no huge rush, at least at the tail end of the set when I was collecting them. I didn't have a problem ever getting them. They didn't sell out instantly. They were always pretty available. To quickly show you the rest of them, just because I can. Chip and Dale playing the piano, if you remember. Oh, it was so cute. They would slide back and forth and pretend like they were playing the piano. And shenanigans. They were bumping into each other. The Little Mermaid float with her piece of costume in the bottom, some jeweled elements with the ship. We have Alice in Wonderland. Alice, her schmuck is jeweled. The Spectro Magic are all pretty much the same with this blue glitter paint, which is very pretty. Got the Evil Queen. I kind of grouped them by type. Evil Queen. They're red jewels. And the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Here we have a fox, and if I had to guess, I think this is possibly, not a fox, but a wolf. I think from Pinocchio. I'm not totally sure. I should double check on the card. Lots of jeweled elements, jewels on the buildings, on his hat, down his suspenders, and his tongue. Nope, I thought it might have been rubber, but it's not. The creepy trumpeters. If you remember this parade, one of the coolest things was there were these trumpets on, I don't think they were walking, I think they were on a float. They were standing on a float. And they would put the trumpets, and the trumpeters, their faces were plastic. They looked like fake doll people. And it was honestly a little creepy. One of the reasons I love the parade. And they would swivel back and forth and point the trumpets out at the crowd and then straight ahead and then back at the crowd. And they would shake their heads back and forth. Toot, toot, toot. And I just remember them being super, super creepy, which is part of why I love them. Showed you Cinderella. I showed you Gus and Jacques up close. Here we have the 3 fairies from Cinderella. Excuse me, I can never remember their name. I know it's Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. I never remember which one is which. Bad Disney fan, I know. That one's very pretty. And the pink one. And if you remember from the parade, anybody who loved this parade, there were, I believe, there were at least 2 different floats, if not 3, that were strung together, and they were all on their own private little float with all different lighted effects, and like the canopy was all glowy and things. And that's what the jewels are all here to kind of mimic the light that was the Spectro Magic. It was all a nighttime light up electric parade, and it was super pretty with a really cool song. We showed you the Bear Fox. Here's some evil queen looking ornery. My favorite one, by far, Chernobog. The Chernobog float. It was a giant mountain that would come by, and his wings would fold in on itself and then expand. Like one wing would come this way and this wing would come this way. And then they would wrap around and expand and then collapse again. So it would look like just a mountain, and then it would expose itself to be Chernobog. It was such a cool float. I miss that. More Fantasia pins. We have the ostriches. The ostriches were Disney cast members dancing around on stage, having themselves a blast, type of thing, where like their head ended here. It was such a big thing. I think their head was right about at that location, and the rest of this was all dangly. I don't recall the Pegasuses being in the parade, but they must have been. There must have been something, some element of them in the parade. Dopey, waving. What's up, dopes? Super cute. Some Captain Hook. I can't remember if he used to be on the float with Peter Pan. I remember it was a ship, and you see the ship in the background. I do remember he was kind of on the deck of a ship. I tend to kind of remember him battling Peter Pan, fake play battling back and forth. If anybody else remembers that, comment, let me know. Pinocchio, with him, the reason I think that the wolf goes with Pinocchio is because of the scene. It might be the big bad wolf, actually. Never mind. I'm so wrong. This is just Pinocchio. He's chilling. Yeah, the wolf must go with the 3 little pigs. It's the only thing that makes sense, especially since the castle background is kind of the same. So you've got the wolf and the 3 little pigs. And the very last pin that was just released is Minnie. There she is. I, again, don't necessarily remember her in the parade, but apparently she was. And in my search for the pins, I did come across this one, so I snagged it. It doesn't go with this set. It is just a completely different set, and it is from the final float of Mickey at the end. And if you remember, there were these balls that were in the float. There were people who sat on the balls, and the balls were motorized, and they were like vehicles, and they drove down Main Street, and they did funny things like spin, and they were sitting in there, and the guys or gals who were riding on top of these glowing balls would kick up their legs and wave their arms, and it was super crazy. I just love that. So just to round out, because you've seen them on this pin board, right now this is kind of a staging area for me to do things with some of my pins that I haven't gotten a place to store. This is a Haunted Mansion pin that I absolutely love. It was a cast member only exclusive pin. They kind of rotate. I love that. Huge Haunted Mansion fan again. This is from a pin event, I believe the Pin Trading University event. It is the Haunted Mansion ghosts in front of a chalkboard. What's it say? Boo plus chains plus bats, 2 groans and moans times dark equals scare. So all of the pins were some sort of teaching element in this. And again, it was the 3 ghosts. I had to have it. here is another pin I was able to pick up. I don't remember much about this one other than it was the Hitchhiking Ghost, and it had a dangler. Again, I'm a sucker for anything that has a unique element in it that makes a pin different and awesome. It says, "Welcome, foolish mortals." Well, that's it for my pin set video. I will let you know and show the results of the Spectro Magic set once I get it all constructed and in there. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe.